welcome to a racing dossier strategy video. In this video we're going to be looking at the Inform Fancies strategy, and before we start you need to have downloaded the pre-made race card which is available just below this video. If you haven't already got that, then you need to right click on the link below this video and choose Save As or Save Link As. Please make sure that you right click, it's very important. If you don't right click and choose Save Link As or Save As, then you're going to get a web page full of code showing on it. Okay, so download the pre-made race card and save it somewhere that you can find it again, because we're going to import it into the racing dossier software. To import the race card, we go to Race Cards, and you can see that I've already got it here, and I'm just going to delete that so you can see me import it again. We press the import button, browse to where you saved the race card, select the Inform Fancies card and choose Open. And you're going to get a message saying 1 race card imported and 0 filters imported, because there are no filters assigned to this race card. Once it's imported, if you want to set this up to open by default, so if you want the Inform Fancies to be your default race card, select it, press Edit, and you can choose the Set as Default Race Card option. However, I'm not going to choose that, I'm going to cancel that instead of save it, because I don't want it to open by default. And then we go to the Races tab, where we can start to look for selections. So we start by opening a race and choosing the Inform Fancies race card if we don't have it set as default. So the first thing to check is that the 5278 Contender Finder rank column, so the first rating that you see, there is a rating for every horse. This is very important. If there isn't a rating for every horse, then we must move on to another race. We can only use this method when we have a 5278 Contender Finder rank for every horse. Okay, the 5278 Contender Finder rank is called that because the top 4 ranked horses will win between 52 and 78% of the time, and that makes it a very good starting point for us to use in our system. So we start by selecting the top 4 ranked and choosing Contender. And you'll notice that I sorted the race card by this column simply by clicking on the header. The first click is going to sort it from low to high, and the second click will sort it high to low. Okay, so we obviously want it to go low to high, first 4, and we've marked them as contenders. Then we move to the next column, the next rating, and click the header to sort that from low to high. Now, this rating is the speed projection rating for the horse, and this indicates how many points a horse is behind the top rated for this rating. We can see that because the beginning of the rating is called diff TP, which it indicates it's a difference from top. Okay, so the difference from top being how many points is this horse from the top rated. We know it's a speed rating because after that we have the letter S as a capital. That indicates it's a speed rating, and this particular one is the horse's projection for the race, so the horse's projected speed rating. So this is the difference from top rated for the horse's projected speed rating. And what we want that to be for this strategy is we want that to be 10 or less. So we want our selections, our possible contenders, to be 10 or less points behind the top rated horse for the speed projection. Okay, and as we can see here, the Devout and Maypole Joe runners are joint top rated because they're both 0 points behind the top rated, so they both have the same rating there, and they're both the top rated. Then comes Franz Howes, who is 9 points behind the top rated. And then Fat Bottom Girl, who is 27 points behind the top rated. Now, Fat Bottom Girl falls outside our 10 point or less requirement, so we right click and remove our contender highlight. You'll also notice that at the top, Fiery Sally has no rating, and that means that we've been unable to rate this runner for speed projection. It may be that the horse hasn't got a speed rating yet, or that we haven't got enough speed ratings to be able to project what it might have in this race. So we ignore that runner as well. Okay, then we move over to the horse win percent column. In the horse win percent column, this indicates the strike rate the horse has achieved throughout its career. And we want our horses to have achieved a good strike rate, and we want them to have been 16%, won 16% of their races or more. So as we can see here, none of these horses have won a race yet, so none of them will qualify under this rule. So we select our 3 possible contenders, right click and remove them. Now for this race, because none of them have qualified under the horse win percent rule, we don't need to go to the DSLGR rule, which is the last rule. But I'm going to explain it now anyway so that you know what it is. So the DSLGR is the days since last good race. We want our horses to be in form and we want them to be fighting fit. So we're looking for them to have had a good race within the last 60 days. So in the DSLGR column, we want 60 or less, which indicates that the horse has run a good race within the last 60 days. Okay, so all of the runners failed on the horse win percent, so we close this and we move to the next race. And you can see now on the next race how quick it is to find possible selections. So we sort by the 5, 2, 7, 8 column and we mark the first 4 straight away. Then we sort by the next difference to top rated for the projection column, and we're looking for horses who are 10 or less points away from the top rated, and we can see straight away that none of these fall into that category because Crew Cut is 15 points away, and then Lowther is 18, Maverick 23 points, and Fast Finian is 24 points away from the top rated. So none are 10 points or less away from the top rated. So we select them all and clear them as possible selections. And then we move to the next race. So again, this is a small race. I have a couple there already marked. So I'm going to start by selecting 5, 2, 7, 8, the top 4. And then we go sort by the difference from top rated for the speed projection, and we're looking for 10 or less. Now the only one that doesn't qualify under that rule is Jack Who's He, who has 18 points away from the top rated, so we clear that. Then we sort by horse win percent, and we want 16 or more, so I'm going to sort it from high to low. And there we can see straight away that the Spinning Ridge has only had a strike rate of 11%, so we remove that horse is a potential contender. But Red Somerset and Imprimi Tagula both have won 16% or more of their races. And then we sort by the DSLGR column. And remember that we're looking for a horse that has had a good race within the last 60 days. So this should be 60 or less. And actually all the runners in this race have had a good race within the last 60 days. And both of our possible selections, contenders, have also had a good race within the last 60 days. So that means that both of those contenders become selections. So we want to add them to the selections tab. And we do that by selecting them, like highlighting them both like that, and pressing add to selections. And you can see that this will bring them up here on the selections tab. We want to choose the bet type, which is back. There is no odds range. And our stake size is 1 unit. When we've put everything in, we press the green next arrow, and that adds them to our selections tab. Now we can go to our selections tab straight from this screen by pressing on the gold star down here, or we can close out of the race card and go to the selections tab, like that. And there we can see both of our selections have been added to that tab. And then we can continue to go through the races, and you can see it's a very quick process to find these selections. And at the end of going through all the races, you just come to the selections tab like this, and all your selections will be there. You can then export these selections by pressing the export button, or if you use GHB, send them straight to GHB. If you prefer to work using a spreadsheet, you can also select all the races like that, but we do that by clicking on the top race, holding down the shift button, clicking on the last race of the day, and then pressing export data. We choose our Inform Fancies card and press the select button, and that's going to export all the races for the day using the Inform Fancies race card. And then you can use Excel or any other spreadsheet of your choice to apply the rules for the strategy. If you prefer to work in a spreadsheet, that's how you can do it. Okay, so now that we have looked at how we find the selections, let's see how these selections have performed over the last year. Okay, so here is the Inform Fancies results since the 1st of January 2012, and you can download this from below the video as well. And the first thing that you're going to notice is that I've divided this up into quarters. So the profit is 186 units, or just over, and this is to betting 1 unit stakes to Betfair SP, and I've taken into account the commission on Betfair. As you can see, that's a 1.08, but the return would have been 2.13 units minus our unit for the stake, 1.13 units profit, and then we take out 5% commission, so we've actually made a profit of 1.08 units on that bet at Aya. So over the last year, since the 1st of January, this has made a profit of 186 units, and we've had a 29% strike rate, which is a superb strike rate, and the reason for that is because we're focusing on very strong runners. So we're focusing on very, very strong runners here. The return has been 11% return on investment overall, but we can see if I've broken this down into quarters. So we can see, if we look at the quarters, that over the last year we've had only one of the quarters, a quarter being a 3-month period, so we go January to March, and then April to July, August to October, and October to December. Is that right? March? Sorry, it would be January to March, April to June, July to September, and then October to December. So there are 4 quarters of the year, and I've broken the results down into these 4 quarters, and you can see that only one of those quarters, which was the October to December one, has made a loss. And during October to December, as is still going on at the moment while recording this video, we actually experienced and continue to experience some of the most extreme racing conditions that we've ever seen, which is likely to have accounted for that loss. However, you can see that in quarter 5, which is January 2013, up to the current date of recording this video, we've made 15 units profit in January. For a 40% strike rate. So look, we're back on form. We're back picking those selections again in the 5th quarter. So you can see that this over the quarter 3 monthly periods, this strategy is holding up well. It's finding very strong runners that are making a good return. So you can download this results file from below this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to chatting with you in the forum and being back in another video.